What's happening? I'm Rami Salamel. I'm making this specifically for Sinetta, but it really applies to anybody, and I do mean anybody, is pushing misinformation, falsehoods, or outright lies to the people. I'm going to read a small selection, then we're going to roll some clips, then I'm going to come back and talk a little more. Propaganda, in its proper meaning, is a perfectly wholesome word, of honest parentage, and with an honorable history. Propaganda becomes vicious and reprehensive only when its authors consciously and deliberately disseminate what they know to be lies. And this is coming from Edward Bernays' Propaganda. Let's roll the clips.
What's your nationality?
Power cap cowards. That's my nationality.
What country are you a citizen of?
Black power cap cowards. That's my nationality. You know why I say that? Because the white man don't give a damn about none of that. All right? All he care about.
Why you worried about the so-called white man?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
You better be.
And I'm not worried
about it. You better be.
No, he said, why am I worried about it like that? Right. Yeah, that's true too. He said, what's my nationality? Hold on, come on over here, saying Coco. He said, what's my nationality? Black power, black power. That's my nationality. And I know a lot of y'all gonna say, well, goddamn, it ain't no so-called land called black. Well, goddamn it, we the first reflection of the cosmic order of the universe, which is blackness. All right?
But blackness or darkness.
See, what you're doing is going by the white man definition of what is black.
So what's your
That's what you're
definition of
doing. Black is color, culture, consciousness, and the corresponding cosmic connection to the natural universal law and order of things.
All right,
that's what black
let me
is
ask
to
you
me.
something. All right, let me ask you something. Wait, before you go. All right, I know you're not Amish. I know you're not Amish, and I know you're not Jehovah's Witness. I just want to know, do you believe in dictionaries, or is that spooky?
What I believe about the dictionary
It's a
is
yes
that
or no question.
I'm gonna answer you. What I believe about the dictionary is that that's the white man's definition of the word.
Ordinary dictionary, right? Merriam-Webster's dictionary, right? No secret, right?
Right.
Black, right? There's black.
Right.
Adjective, right?
Right.
Middle English, isn't it? That shows you the etymological origin, right?
Right.
Right. Now, Middle English, when you see the brackets, that gives you the history of the word.
Right.
It goes not past the medieval period or the mid-century. Most of our people do not know how to read a dictionary. These are keys that was given to Malcolm. That's what woke him up to his second degree. You understand? When he thought he had it covered. Then when people recognize that he woke up, a lot of people can't get in his pockets no more, so now somebody's been playing with us. But he wouldn't take the payoff, so they got rid of him. But the truth is what it is. It is what it is, not what we want it to be. Now this is just a basic dictionary, but if you had a good dictionary, it would give you an etymological breakdown or development of words. And right here you have black or Moor.
Right.
Then it's a noun, and it's irregular, and then it's black, which is the adjective, and you see a small case, right? Then plus Moor, which is capitalized because that's the proper noun, right? And that's a dark-skinned person, especially black, etc. In the other dictionary says African American, whatever they call them, but that's the identity. Everybody knows who we are except us.
Right.
And you present this to our people, and they will try to take that and make that like it never even happened. You know why? Because they've been writing all their books in black.
Okay, I heard a few Moors will say that Moor means black. Is
They'll
that
say
true?
means. Now, let's look like this. I'm gonna show you this. They'll tell you that Kemet means black. Then they'll tell you that Ham means black. Then they'll tell you that the Ankh means black. Then they'll tell you that Moor means black. Then they'll tell you that Moroccan means black. Then they'll tell you Ethiopian means black. Then they'll tell you that Arab means black. Then they'll tell you that Abyssinia means black.
That's right.
Now, black is a Middle English word which I just showed you, which is contemporary. And so what has happened is we have taken a definition that is European, totally contemporary, provably contemporary, and then keep taking it and putting it retroactive in history when they didn't mean none of that. They meant exactly what they meant. Kemet means Kemet. I suggested you do this too, and this for Asiatics. Go into one of the great historians that's recognized all over the world, David McRitchie. That's European. And they'll tell you in the history that black and white are legal statuses. They have nothing to do with complexion.
Not at all.
And guess what? That's not just here. That's all over the world. Our people here who's been miseducated from European colonialism are the only ones that don't know it. And we keep on arguing the low status and then get mad because people treat us accordingly.
Right.
So when the Moors say that they not black, but
That's why they're talking status.
But they would say, I'm a free white person.
Yes,
You're
now.
dealing with status.
Go get the law book.
You ain't dealing with the color of the complexion.
Now, come on. And if we could get that, if we could get our people away from the emotions,
these black with the
if we
brown.
could get our people away from the emotions of defending a habit that we've been trained to. See, because just like the youth today don't know that a few generations ago, where there was still some consciousness left, if you called an Asiatic or African black, you had a fight.
That's right.
Because they knew you was classifying them. But our people have been miseducated, and so now they think it's an identity. But I say to you right now, like, all right, red, black, and green, right? So I can pull down right now a map. Show you Tamari, Kibalan, do you understand? Kamat, that you call Africa today, that people generally call Africa today. And you see any Asiatic that come from Africa, they will never come here talking about their Africans. They will come here telling you their national name. The people that do that African stuff is us here who trying to get back mentally. But we don't recognize that they recognize that we got mental issues. They don't debate with us, they just put a glass between us like everybody else and do business and get away from us before we try to destroy them, try to encourage them to give up their birthright, because they ain't giving up their birthright just because we gave up ours, because we want to follow behind emotionalism. It doesn't mean the desire to be free is wrong. That's not wrong. We've mixed it with miseducation. And we refuse to let that miseducation go, while admitting that we're miseducated. That's where our problem is. This is legal. This is legal Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Now listen. All persons down there where they're dealing with Bouvier's, Webster also has a law dictionary. There's multiple law dictionaries, but this is the major one that is used by all persons in government. And it's not just here. It's across the planet. And it deals with ancient and modern jurisprudence. And jurisprudence is the science that treats of positive law. These are fundamentals that should be given to anyone that has a basic education. And if anyone's talking about rights or rights of people and then don't know fundamental jurisprudence, they're already in trouble, because if somebody can be trying to help them and they won't even recognize who's trying to help them or who's against them. This is where our problem is. And so it frustrates people who may come amongst us and try to help us, Islam says, and we start getting all defensive and hostile when actually they're reaching out to us, only because we don't understand the language. And if it's not something that we're not familiar with hearing in the hood, we reject it. But that's wrong. We must understand we're in the hood because it's a caste system. But if our forefathers were ruling, we would not be in the hood. We'd be in the university. You know, all they...
Before I go any further, let me first say that I appreciate the work that you have done, that you are doing, and that you will do. This not just applies to Sonetta, but any so-called black leader, any so-called black scholar, any person that's teaching us about our quote-unquote black history, our quote-unquote black culture. I'm not trying to demean the work that's been done, so please don't misunderstand me. But we have no more time for games. And more importantly, it's the duty, it's the responsibility, it's the obligation of those that know to teach those that do not know. Now, Sonetta, you know, and you were taught by a master teacher, Taj Tariq Bey, and yet and still, you keep calling us black. You keep misleading the people. Keep putting out these falsehoods. And I would sit back and I would say, why does he keep doing this? Why? Why are these people doing this when they know the truth? See, you can't blame it on ignorance. Once you know, you know. You can't unknow what you know. And we got the footage, so we know that you know. So why is it? Are you an agent? Are you a propagandist trying to keep our people enslaved? Because that's what it seems like. You see, it's not a game right now. Our people are being executed in the streets, assassinated. We are suffering through a genocide, a Holocaust, if you will. And you want to use our culture, our information. You want to use the space and the medium that you have for debates, for divisiveness, for continually labeling our people black. I say this with the utmost respect to you and to any elder that's continuing to do this. And I'm talking about Cornel West, Tavis Smiley, Mark Lamont Hill, you name it, all of them, everybody. The fuck is your problem? Stop trying to enslave us. We need to wake up. And we're not going to do it as quote unquote black people. We have a nationality. We have a history. Black is not it. Okay? It's Moorish American to be specific. But you know, that's why you got the flag up at your house. That's why you're posing like you are. Right? I'm warning you. And when I say I'm warning you, it's not really me. I'm just here to deliver a message. You keep misleading the people, and you're going to suffer a terrible karmic fate. This is not a game. We don't have time for this bullshit. If you're for the people, be for the people. Teach the people the truth. Noble Drew Ali. Moorish American is our nationality. We're not black. We're Moors. We're not African American. We're Moors. We're not Latinos. We're Moors. We're not brown people. We're Moors. We're not people of color. We're Moors. And if you're not for our people, just make it clear. Say what you really about. Identify yourself as an agent if that's what side you're on. Because I'm telling you, when the masses wake up, and they will wake up, you won't be able to hide. You won't be able to say, oh, well, I didn't know. Well, I was just, no. You see, because the people will see what it is. And they will know that you were exploiting the people. You had the opportunity to teach the people the truth, and yet you wanted to capitalize for debates and for money, for views. Or worse, you were just selling us out. And I'm not singling out you specifically, Sonetta, just as if you're the only person, but you know. And I know you know. I can see it. Those that have eyes to see, we see what's up. And you have a very large reach. Tariq Nasheed, that's another one. Yeah, you know too. Quit playing the games. I say this with love. But you see, it says, be humble, be patient. I'm tired of the patience. I'm tired of the humbleness. You can see the other videos. You can see where I'm being calm and I'm being very kind and polite. No pun intended. But it's no more time for that. I don't want my children being gunned down and being killed like slaves. I don't want your children being killed and gunned down like slaves. So if you're not brave enough to step up and say the real, sit down, get to the back, and let those with their eyes that are wide open step forward and show the people what's up. And this goes for the dirty Moors too. I purposely didn't wear my fez just because. Don't believe just because they got a fez on that they're righteous. We see through that too. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's what we need to live by. And calling us black, that's not love. That's not truth. That will not bring peace. That will not bring freedom. And that will not get us justice. That's the real. I'm Rami Salam El, and I will be coming to New York soon. And I won't be afraid to say this to you in your face, or anyone for that matter. You see, because it's not a game. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here to gain no fame. I don't want to make these videos. I just see that it's people that won't step up. Yeah, see, I'm from Oakland, if you didn't know. And it's in the soil. That revolution is in the soil out here. And trust me, I'm one of the calm ones. I'm one of the more calmer type. See, it's some people that when they find out what's what, we need to unify, we need to be peace and love, that may not work. They may take that whole treasonous, the penalty for treason, they take that a little more seriously. They will carry out that justice with the sword. For real, for real. I love you. Yes, you. Just tired of the games. Peace.
But now, how do they protect themselves with their criminality in government from that Constitution that puts them in check? By getting you to agree that you're Negro, black, or colored, Afro-American, anything but who you really are, being a founder of this government. That's where your problem is. And so you have no standing at law because a non-human being or a person bearing property titles cannot enforce the de jure law of the land. You don't have the political power to do it. You don't have the authority to do it. As a matter of fact, he don't have the authority to act on that Constitution. That's why they have to have civil rights issues for Negroes. What you see Drew Ali said in here, the 14th, 15th Amendment would not be necessary. That's where they made a provision for their property to be counted in the votes for those who own them. So when you vote in Smith, Jones, and Johnson, it belongs to Smith, Jones, and Johnson. The state's job is to make sure the benefit goes to Smith, Jones, and Johnson in the suburbs. And then if your vote has too much influence and they don't want it, you know what they can do? Lawfully and legally, stand right here in front of your face, take Negro votes, tear them up visually, put them in the trash can to change the vote, and there's no legal or lawful proceeding other than protest that can change it. And you be sitting around talking about prejudice and everything. Why? Because those people who cast those ballots committed fraud. And fraud has no statute of limitations. Check it in any law book on the planet. And as long as you've been transacting business in European alien names, you've been committing fraud. Therefore, they can do stuff to you, and there's no consequence to them other than protest. This is the reason why they had to release those cops after they pacified the people, after they tried to kick Rodney King to China. Why? First, because he claimed to be Rodney King. Seems totally irrelevant, doesn't it? But from a law perspective, he's property. And the state corporations have an obligation to their citizens first. You understand what I'm saying? And who would ever think of that? You're thinking about what's fair, what's unfair, this is violence, abuse of power. They'll lock you up for kicking a dog, won't they? They locked them up for kicking Rodney King after they went through a whole bunch of stuff. Then as soon as the people settled down, about 2 months, they, exonerated them, threw them out of jail. But it satisfied the natives, didn't it? For 2 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of course, they burnt the city down, but I'm just saying that's the real deal. You know, with us, you know, you kill our babies and everything, we look for something to pray to, tie some ribbons around someplace and march. And then these are the same, remember, these are the same people that go to Vietnam, go to Korea, etc., kill women and children that have never done nothing to them, never touched them, would feed you a bowl of rice because they're your blood and brother. You go murder them, and you come back here and start some NACP, some fart, push, pull, jump, loop, and fund them to the tune of billions of dollars, and all these guys that lead them are preachers and masons and know the truth about you. And got a fez in their closet. And they got an oath to Rome not to reveal those secrets to you about your great seal, your part in this great government. And you sit around and complain. You can fund them, but you won't fund things that support you. And the whole world disrespects you for that. You need to understand how the rest of the world views us. The civilized people of the world, even Asiatics from the islands, etc., who don't dishonor their mothers and their fathers. And you wonder why they come here and act like this with you, although they deal with you. Or they'll set up shop in your neighborhoods and make a living. Why? Because you so quickly give up your birthright. You make a lot of finance, but you don't possess the power or the wealth to hold it or to regulate it. You don't even know what money is. That's why they got you fooled, just like they don't even know who you are. And I'm talking to us plural. That's why they got you fooled. So the Moorish Divine and National Movement was to set up to correct these misconceptions, to bring you back into the constitutional fold of government, to teach you back those principles which were necessary to bring you back into civilized society and have recourse and regress in the grievances with the knights who have abused you and the daughters of the American Revolution and the Ku Klux Klan, etc., and the Knights of Columbus who have taken over your government and have subverted it. And you run around talking about prejudice, a fiction. So you have little babies, back to a baby's lesson. You have little babies, they'll take them to school, right? And they'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Remember, these are children. They say, I'll pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Go right home and their parents will lie to them, tell them it's a democracy. And then send them to go fight wars for the private corporations that the Congress sold their delegated authority to because you playing colored people. That's why they're able to enforce color law, because we've been colored. And colored means fake, frauds, phonies. Don't want the truth because it's too stern. Don't want to correct nothing because it violates my belief in God right now. Full of crap. It's the truth. And we need to stop being arrogant. Right. We need to stop being self-righteous. We need to stop being so hateful. We need to stop being so vicious in our mentality with each other. And we need to understand our responsibility in society. And that there's nations on this planet. They're not crayons. They have national standards. Respect them for that. You have a national standard. Respect yourself and go back and get it. Until you do, you will be rejected by the rest of the world. And you have no standing in law. No judicio standi in courts.
Peace. As I was watching the video again, I really felt like some of my words were pretty intense. And, I do my best to make sure that I am living what I'm preaching, what I'm talking about. So I'm going to read a small chapter out of The Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. It's chapter 7. Again, Elihu's Lessons, The Mysteries of Egypt. Again, Elihu taught. He said, the Indian priests became corrupt. Brahm was forgotten in the streets. The rights of men were trampled in the dust. And then a mighty master came, a Buddha of enlightenment, who turned away from wealth and all honors of the world, and found the silence in the graves and caves, and he was blessed. He taught the gospel of higher life, and taught men how to honor man. He had no doctrine of the gods to teach. He just knew man. And so his creed was justice, love, and righteousness. I quote to you a few of many of the helpful words which Buddha spoke. Hate is a cruel word. If man hates you, regard it not, and you can turn the hate of men to love, and mercy, and goodwill. Mercy is as large as all the heavens, and there is good enough for all. With good destroy the bad. With generous deeds make avarice ashamed. With truth make straight the crooked lines that errors draw. For error is but truth distorted, gone astray. And pain will follow him who speaks or acts with evil thought, as does the wheel on the foot of him who draws the cart. He is the greater man who conquers self than he who kills 1,000 men in war. He is the noble man who is himself what he believes that other men should be. Return to him who does you wrong your purest love, and he will cease from doing wrong. For love will purify the heart in him who is beloved, as truly as it purifies the heart of him who loves. The words of Buddha recorded in the Indian sacred books. Attendeth them, for they are part of the instructions of the holy breath. The land of Egypt is the land of secret things. The mysteries of the sages lie locked bound in our temples and shrines. The masters of all times and climes come here to learn. And when your sons have grown to manhood, they will finish all their studies in Egyptian schools. But I have said enough. Tomorrow at the rising of the sun, we meet again. I'm going to close out with the prayer. If you'd like to, please follow along. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, Allah is our guide, and Allah is our salvation. By night and by day, through our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam, 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 and Hotep. Peace.